Hi, we're going to talk about the All-American Fencing Academy logo today, because some people has asked me if I copied my logo from somebody else. No, it's an originally designed logo. We've had two main ones over the last couple years. The current one we'll talk about in just a bit, but no, we've never copied our logo. It's originally designed by the current head coach, Gerhard Guevara. Our first logo, back starting in 2003, we wanted a logo that kind of had a look that said a little bit of military, because we're in a military town. So that's why we had this logo. It was a shield logo, similar to what we have now, same colors, red, white, and blue, because we are in Fayetteville, also deemed the All-American City. But the first logo actually has four weapons on it, four swords. The three swords you see at the top, saber, foil, and epee, the 4 stars, and then we also include the 82nd Airborne AA patch in the middle, which also had a sword there. So we thought that's a lot going on that logo. So the first iteration or reiteration that we did was we took off the stars. We thought that was a lot going on at the top part, so we took off the stars. We kept that for a short while, but we also kept the AA in the middle, which sometimes caused confusions. Not good or bad, but we didn't meet a lot of people at national tournaments that were part of the 82nd Airborne at some point in their history. They asked us, especially my teams, were they currently in the 82nd Airborne? They were always friendly. They're just happy to meet someone from their old unit or from their old town. So we eventually took off the AA from the middle and just kept the blue bar at the top with the 3 weapons and the red, white, and blue theme, and the yellow border around it. So in 2008 is when we created the current logo that you know right now. We have a couple different iterations of it. We have the colored one with the red, white, and blue, and the white background, white border actually. But oftentimes, especially in clothing, we'll use just the outline, just the white or just the black part. So you won't see the red, white. You won't see the red and blue portions. You'll just see the white portion, sometimes in a different color, depending on what we have it on. I mentioned other clubs or other businesses has used our logo. So here are some of the samples that we've found so far. People keep sending them our way, say, hey, we've seen your logo being used someplace else. So here are the ones that we know about. Some of them are just using it for their club logo, and some of them have used our design for a shirt, but you'll notice that they switched the blue and the red around. So I guess maybe to say that it's not exactly my logo. But we're going to talk about how we created this logo. So you know that we made this back in 2008, and you can see the original file and where it came from. So we dug up our original file. We used Corel Paint Shop Pro back in the day, but the bottommost layer you see is this shield. It's not exactly our shield, but we used it as a base of what we wanted to do. So you see here the white part where we actually drew it, so it's a little bit fatter on the bottom rather than the quick taper that you saw. But yeah, we hand drew this one on Corel Paint Shop Pro, but the white was the bottom part. And in early logos we had a black inner border that we included. We don't really use a black inner border anymore, but we use it to help identify, I guess, the spacing. The blue part actually uses up the whole background, instead of just trying to shape the bottom part. The blue is actually the whole background. The red only covers the top part, so the two, red and blue, aren't separate. There's a foil right there, and we're going to zoom in here, I think, and you'll be able to see the paths and the nodes that we have on the foil when we drew out the foil. and then there's Saber, and then we'll have the épée in just a second. But one of my biggest self-complaints is my guard on my foil is too big, and I've thought about fixing it because the foil guard looks just about as big as the épée guard. I've thought about fixing it, but I didn't want to change all my logos. But that's what that used to look like with the black border around it. Eventually we removed the black border. So that's what that logo looks like. That's what we usually use without the black border, and it looks just fine. So we don't use a black border anymore. If we do need something to split it out from the background, we'll just use the white border. But that gives you an idea of how our logo was made. Hope you enjoyed that. A little bit of background on our logo, and this was created back in 2008. All right. Hope everyone's healthy. Hope everyone's safe. And we'll see you next time.